We are leaving Calgary International Airport to Ottawa, the capital of Canada. The flight on Air Canada will take about 3 hours 40 minutes. There was a queue in our economy counter. However, the staff from the business class, they saw this queue, they came over and helped us to check in at their counter. It's very nice of them to do that. We were told that our flight was delayed by 4 hours, and we were constantly informed of the revised departure. We were lucky to see the northern lights during our flight, but it is not as clear as you would have seen from the ground. In the north, the display is known as the Aurora Borealis. These northern have fascinated, frightened, and inspired humans for centuries. More recently, photographers have gone to remarkable lengths to try and capture the beauty of this atmospheric event. The lights we see in the night sky are in actual fact caused by activity on the surface of the sun. Solar storms on our star's surface give out huge clouds of electrically charged particles. These particles can travel millions of miles and some say may eventually collide. Most of these particles are deflected away, but some become captured in the Earth's magnetic field, accelerating down towards the north into the atmosphere. This is Fred, my former colleague in Malaysia Airlines, and also we did our professional exam in transport together. Now he is settled down in Ottawa. He and his wife, Dorothy, they are perfect hosts during our stay in Ottawa. Fred has a cozy home and he has a great neighborhood.
The maple tree, and he taps it for the syrup. This is the neighborhood.
Fred fetched us from the airport yesterday and is taking us for a drive around Ottawa. Ottawa, being the Canada's capital, is the perfect place to experience some of the country's best attractions, celebrations, and flavors in one city. With its unique blend of urban and rural beauty, year-round outdoor activities, and vibrant neighborhoods. The Ottawa's region's identity has been influenced by many cultures, including First Nations, French, English, Scottish, and Irish. Several rivers meet here. The area was an active transportation corridor for an astounding diversity of indigenous groups and travelers. European explorers passed through the region beginning in the 1600s, followed by Irish, French, and Scottish settlers. This is experimental farm. Fred is taking us to this farm.
Copyright is patented. They charge you. This is Dow's Lake. Wintertime is frozen and people have ice sculptures, and they have the man-made lake. Because it's man-made, it's frozen. They'll be skating from here right to downtown. Make a left.
The experimental farm is an agricultural facility, working farm, and research center of the science and technology. of Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. As the name indicates, this farm is centrally located in and around by the city of Ottawa, located on 4 square kilometers of land. The farm is a National Historic Site of Canada. National Defense Office of the Navy. And most buildings are protected and preserved as heritage buildings. This farm original intent was to perform scientific research for improvement in agricultural methods and crops. With such research, it is still being conducted. The park-like atmosphere of the experimental farm has become an important place of recreation and education for the residents. Commencement of the Tulips Festival. The Canadian Tulip Festival, which commences around 10th of May each year, was established to celebrate the historic royal gift of tulips from the Dutch to Canadians immediately following the Second World War, as a symbol of international friendship. The festival preserves the memorable role of the Canadian troops in the liberation of the Netherlands and Europe, as well as commemorates the birth of Dutch Princess Margaret in Ottawa during World War II, the only royal personage ever born in Canada. The Canadian Tulip Festival has been celebrating the tulip, an international symbol of friendship and peace, since 1953. The first Canadian Tulip Festival was held as the suggestion of world-renowned photographer Malak Kash. Many visitors to this Tulips Festival. Look at that. And so beautifully done. Many stalls set up to cater for the visitors. This is Robin looking for a worm. This magnolia. Steady, candid camera. University. This is Alaa Alnafouri, my former student in Malaysia. He now works for Air Canada. He hosted us to a great Chinese meal at the Mandarin Restaurant. Dorothy, Fred, and Tinkerbell and Prem at the deck of Fred's
how beautiful garden they have.
Fred's grandchildren, Gabby and Jalen.
Roll over. Tinker Bell, roll over. Yes, roll over.
Skyline.
Ottawa is situated on the south bank of the Ottawa River, across from the Gatineau at the confluence of the Ottawa, Gatineau and Rideau rivers. Ottawa River is the principal tributary of the St. Lawrence River. It was a key factor in the city's settlement and development. Its watershed, covering more than 57,000 square miles, facilitated the transport of resources such as furs, timber, and minerals from the region. The grounds of Parliament Hill are home to more than 20 bronze statues and monuments. The grounds are also home to the Canadian Police and Peace Officers Memorial. The first statue was of Sir George Etienne Cartier in 1885. This statue marked the first act of commemorating important people in Canadian history on Parliament Hill. We are going to the Parliament Hill, which is the home of Canada's federal government, where representatives from across Canada gather to make laws that affect the lives of every Canadian. It is also much more, a place to meet, a place to celebrate, and a place to visit. Built 1859 to 1865 to serve the United Provinces of Upper and Lower Canada, the Parliament buildings were occupied by the House of Commons, Senate, and departmental offices of the new Dominion of Canada after Confederation in 1867. The Parliament buildings have been constantly occupied and continue to be the real and symbolic center of Canadian government.
The eternal fire.
Official recognition refers to the four buildings as defined by their footprints. Parliament Buildings was designated a National Historic Site of Canada in 1976. This site is designated because first occupied in 1865 by the departmental officers of the province of Canada, the Gothic Revival style Parliament buildings housed the new government of Canada 18 months later. The Parliament buildings were initially conceived to serve the needs of the government and the United Provinces of the Upper and Lower Canada.
These are government buildings. This is the Ottawa River.
After Confederation in 1867, they were occupied by the House of Commons, Senate, and departmental offices of the new Dominion of Canada. Originally known as Barrack Hills, the site was chosen for its commanding location, its fine, uninterrupted views of the region, and for its 3 decades of occupation by a military garrison and the Royal Engineers, rendering it a central focus of town social life.
This is the American Embassy. This is the farmers market.
The Byward market is one of the oldest and largest markets in Canada. It is within walking distance of Parliament Hill and many downtown hotels. Surrounded by historic buildings, one can browse for fresh produce, flowers, and more any day of the year. They specialize in cheeses, meat, seafood, spices, oils, and other gourmet ingredients. This Ottawa Farmers Market is a member-based association, which means the farmers themselves are in charge. They provide environments where local farmers, specialty food processors, and artisans can flourish by delivering premium self-produced goods from within the Ottawa region through the vibrant community markets. Ottawa is a city of celebrations, offering visitors a year-round calendar of parties, festivals, and special events. On July the 1st, city celebrates the biggest party in the country, Canada Day. Visitors will experience a host of musical celebrations, including the Ottawa Jazz Festival, Ottawa Chamber Fest, and Ottawa Blue Fest, which welcome some of the world's biggest acts to the city. The culinary scene in Ottawa is in full bloom, with the thriving community of Ottawa chefs and diverse restaurants making names for themselves both at home and abroad. Going through the town before going home to Fred's house. Enjoying the peace, serenity, and birds at Fred's house deck.